Hey, what's up, traders? What's up, guys? Special review we're gonna do today for Joe at solarsouth2000 at gmail.com. He had a special request to go over ticker symbol UNH, which is United Health Group. So let's take a look at the charts and analyze this stock. All right, ticker symbol is UNH, guys. We're gonna take a look at the daily chart. So just looking at the chart here, you can see this is a stock, without going into any technicals, this is a stock that's been respecting its 50-day trend line support. And what I mean by that is, if you go back here to August a year ago, you see the stock is at $78. The moment price came across the 20-day and the 50-day moving average, price had a nice little pop up. And measuring this move from $78 to $88, this is a $10 pop right here. All right, and then from this pop right here, this was a high right here. The stock had to pull back, consolidate a little. As you can see right here, it consolidated all the way down until it reached this earnings play right here. All right, so right here, I guess, I don't know what the earnings was, but you can see right here, buyers felt that this was a good price to buy the stock, which indicates that by this bottom and tail right here. And then after that, you can see the price action came right here, sitting on this 50-day moving average. So once the price came across the 20-day moving average, it started to rise above the 50-day moving average. And once that happened, the stock went on a nice little run here again. And this was about from $96 to down from $80. So you had about a $16 run right here on this pop right here. All right, and ever since then you had a little pullback, but slowly it's been moving upwards, respecting the 20-day moving average as a trend line support. And when it don't respect it, it pulls back into the 50-day moving average, and then the 50-day moving average become its support. So, and overall, when you're looking at this stock and following this move up, you had a nice little pop here again in a pullback. And again, right here at $99 on this pullback, and you had a pop all the way up to like $113 to be exact. So another, this stock constantly makes $7 to $10 moves. It's an average move for this stock. And you had a nice little pullback here. And then from this low right here at 106, you had a nice little move again up to 116, another $10 move. All right, so each time you see the price action is pulling back onto one of these moving averages, it's respecting the 20-day moving average. So if you was in the stock from here back all the way here in October, after this initial pullback, right before before earning or after earnings, you got in the stock here, you had this whole cushion of support to not even worry about none of these pullbacks. All right. And when you finally had to worry about a pullback is when price actually crossed down, coming towards the 50-day moving average. And each time support was found at the 50-day, and it pulled right back up. All right. So this lasted from October all the way to April, from October 2014 all the way to April 30th, 2015. Because this is where the stock finally, the price action finally couldn't hold the 20, couldn't hold the 50, and it came down, penetrating through the 50. So this bottom and tail right here is very important, because like I said, this is where price finally bottomed out after penetrating the 50-day moving average. Buyers find support here that they finally started buying the stock back up right here. So from this bottom here, which is about at 112, to this move here, which is 122. All right, which is another $10 move, as you guys recall. But when you look at right here, each time we was going up from October, each time we hit one of these tops and we pull back, the stock was making a high, a new high. Each time, new high. Each time, new high. Each time, new high. Each time, new high. Okay, even up here, it made a new high. So right here, when you had this high right here of 122.53, when it made this high, which would have been 123.90 to be exact, but when this high came in, all right, and if you look, if you was in this stock and you look back from October, you realize this high came in, all right, and then you look down here and you're looking at your MACD and you see your MACD cross to the downside. Well, this would have been the perfect sign that this stock was gonna pull back harder than before. right? Because each time it pulled back into support on the 50-day moving average. But this time up here, when it pulled back, you had to, you know, kind of realize it was, you know, pulling back into the 50-day moving average hard. And, you know, if you had been in this trade for since here, like I said, you know, you have this cushion, you're not panicking, you're not worried. And if you was in the trade up here, you know, the problem is for you is, you know, you're gonna go through this whipsaw right here of this sideways and this choppy action right here. But the only reason why you're going through this is because the stock been on a run since October of last year and all the way to April. You could say March, because March was when it hit this high, and ever since it hit this high, consolidated a little bit and started zigzagging its way, choppiness, but it's making its way higher. You see this higher lows? It's making higher lows, making its way up, trying to retest this high. It finally tests this high right here on 7/15th, on July 15th, 2015. It finally touched this high. So as you look at the stock has been making great uptrend move. And right here, you know, after a high, you normally expect a pullback and a zigzag. So what I'm expecting right here is where the 61.8 retracement, extension is. I have a 61.8 retracement here, and I have a 38.2 retracement right here. So inside this box right here, you know, I had to do the extensions also because it widened the channel that I have to play with right here. So inside this box right here, I got the 38.2 down here, and I got the 61.8. So you can expect a lot of resistance trying to get past this 61.8 retracement, which is at 121.88. And down here, you know, you have a range of about 115, which is, you know, the 61.8 retracement is actually at 116.76. But looking at it from right here, you know, you have a channel right here to play with. So you look at the trend line that I drew for you guys from here, from this low, which was very important, all right, to the pullback low after it hit the new high is the trend line that I have drawn for this support line. Okay, up here, you know, you had the crash, and you had this first high right here, all right, and then you had this high. So inside, you know, like I told you guys before, I normally trade price ranges. So as you can see, this price range started off from here to here, nice and small. And as the stock is making its move up and zigzagging, you're widening the price range of what we're expecting the price to go, which is a good thing, because every time it comes down to the trend line, you can look to enter the trade on this trend line support. All right, but if you want to be sure, but you know, you have to wait for the closings, a couple of closing above 121.88. Okay, and if we did that, then our next target up would be 128, 121. What I said, we're looking for a closing at 121.88. All right, so if we have a couple of closings here and we enter the trade, or we buy more, we add to our positions, our next target up would be 128.89 is what we're looking to test. Remember on this video earlier how many times I said this stock makes an average move of $7 to $10 moves all the time. So my price range is looking at this 128.89. So, you know, I'm drawing the trend line for you. What can I expect from the stock right here? I expect this move to continue on this line that I drew for you guys right here. And then somewhere here, I expect a little pullback. I expect for it to come back into here, into this zone right here, and have a couple of closings, just like you see over here. Have a couple of closings over here, and before it gets running up here. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting this up move to continue. Maybe it go through it, but, you know, I'm expecting a pullback on 88.6 at 124. 124 bucks. I'm expecting a pullback, and then you know, a little zigzag action, and then boom, and for it to come test this 128.89. But looking at down here, like I said earlier, if you was watching the stock and you seen the MACD crossing over, this is a good telltale sign to start you know, trimming down your position or even exit if you're a, you know, short-term trader, because as you can see, the MACD started to the downside first. Price is still to the you know, going sideways, but you don't have a clue where's price going right now. The only thing that you do have a clue on is the MACD down here that's telling you everything's to the downside. Momentum's to the downside, but the MACD is already crossed over way back over here from this high, the initial high that I was talking about right here. So from there, you see the MACD is already to the downside. So from here, you know, it would be a good place for you to start taking profit and exit your position, because soon as this happened, it took a little while, but price eventually came crashing down, penetrating the 50-day moving average. So what am I looking for now? What am I waiting for besides this move, besides this closing of 121.88? Besides my target up here, what am I waiting for before all this gets into play? I'm looking for the MACD right here to start, trending up. And you remember what I said? I trade price ranges, and as you see, the price range was small right here, and it started to winding up right here. Well, it's the same thing with the MACD. You can see the MACD right here is going sideways, but every time it makes a little move up, it widens the price range that we're looking to trade. So right here, you can see the MACD is scaling up. It's slowly trending up. All right, so we're looking for the MACD to start turning up this way, and then this will set, what I said here about the closing here, the 121.88, the little price action play right here before it goes test the 128. So we have to wait for this to actually develop before this happens. So my personal opinion on this stock looked magnificent. It's a great stock. Had a big run from a year ago to now. This was a huge, okay, if you invested in this stock, you had received a huge return back on this stock right here. So personally, this is a stock I'm going to look to trade. I'm going to add to my watch list, and I must say thank you to Joe again at solarsouth2000 at gmail.com for putting me on notice and making me aware of this stock right here, UNH, United Health. I will do a couple more videos on it, to see if my forecast of price action, how this will play out. But regardless, we have the trend line support. And again, if everything that I say, does not happen, worst come to worst, the stock come crashing down, we have the support line right here at 110.73. So worst case scenario on a stock that make $10 move, it's at 121. So the worst case, if nothing plays out, the stock come crashing down. We're looking for it to come crashing down at 110, 111. All right. So this is my take on UNH. I hope this was very helpful. Thank you for sending me the email, and thank you again, Joe, for making us aware of this. Joe at solarsouth2000 at gmail. For any other further questions, any other reviews, guys, feel free to send me the email, the number 3, the letter D, consult me at gmail. Peace.